Wreckleaf by J.D. Steiner. Chapter 2. Panacea. This island never ceases to impress me. A terrible beauty. Wednesday, May 29th, through the current day, 3 years later. What are you thinking about? Kendra's voice pulls me to the present moment. My feet, I lie to my best friend, so I don't have to tell her what I'm really thinking about. Again. What about them? How ugly they are, I say. I love our feet. They're perfect. I guess I'm not as evolved as you. That's right, my beauty. She settles back on the warm sand and closes her eyes. I envy her peace of mind. I could blame the hot sun for my sweaty upper lip, for my too fast heartbeat and fistful of sand. But my mother thinks I suffer from post-traumatic stress. And maybe she's right. If I can't find peace here, with Kendra, on such a perfect day, will I ever? Nerissa, you probably would have been killed, or worse, my mother likes to remind me. But I wasn't. I'm okay. How can you possibly be okay? You murdered someone. It's not like you haven't, Mom. You shouldn't have been there in the first place. Your skills weren't developed and you were not fully trained. She doesn't care that I had to kill that human waste. What she's really trying to say is how disappointed she is that I left witnesses and that I let Anastasia get captured. That I'm responsible for the discovery of our existence. I stretch my fingers and Kendra's soft, rhythmic breathing returns me to the beach. We call it our beach because it's inaccessible except to our kind. My gaze gets trapped in her hair, so unlike the blazing copper calamity atop my head. Kendra is an anomaly. None of us are blonde. We're all born with a shade of red hair. That's how we were designed, along with the other obvious exaggerations. I'm a walking cliché. But our beauty is a paradox. I give anything to be average. Yet even though I sometimes think they look frightening, I'll keep my eyes. My mother says they hold the winter sky, and that I'm unique. Well, I must look like my father, because I don't really resemble her. But I'll never know. She doesn't have much memory of him either. That's what one quick night of romance will do. I can feel you staring at me, Kendra grumbles. Go back to sleep. Nothing is better than the freedom of lazing away a breezy afternoon on the privacy of our beach. We crashed on the cashmere sand hours ago, and I could stay here forever. But this is the end of these days. The first of the summer tourists have started trickling in. When the rest arrive via Zeppelin, the island will be crawling. Year after year, like herded sheep, they flock, seeking their salvation in some magic potion or pill or concoction. And belittling those of us who attend to their needs apparently goes hand in hand with their desperate goal of perfection, as though they are the cream rising to the top of their own crystal chalice, their servants the sludge left at the bottom. But their money just cannot buy the true healing powers of this island and its waters, and no amount will ever mask their entitlement and self-importance. At work, a typical exchange with a tourist goes something like this. Welcome to Panacea. How may I be of service to you? I have an itch on my back. Scratch it. Yes, of course. My pleasure, beauty. Yes, it is your pleasure. How else may I please you today? You cannot please me. Go get me a salad. Yes, beauty. It's my honor. Yes, it is. Don't forget that. The tide's rolling in, Kendra. Nap time is over. She groans. Why are you so perky? Did you have a good nap? No. Oh, right. You don't sleep anymore, do you? She asks. We need to go. Display time. I point my index finger and a small holograph springs to life in front of us. It comes from my rose quartz CNI, crystal nail bed implant, the biotechnology that replaced external devices many years ago. You know you don't have to speak your command out loud. It'll load whatever you want with just a thought command, she reminds me. I know, I just forget. It seems so unnatural. It is unnatural, but that's how it works, she says. Well, I suppose if I grew up with a crystal shoved in my nail bed like everyone else, it wouldn't bother me so much. I swear I feel it growing sometimes. It's possible the implant is still adjusting to your biology. It's been almost 3 years, I say. Well, maybe you're still growing, she teases. Great. Let's go. We're going to get our butts kicked if we're late. Bye-bye, OB. See you soon. Kendra's voice bounces off the back of the cove and silences the seabirds. Oh, aren't you powerful? That's nothing. She hops up and runs toward the water. I follow her. The ocean is warm and inviting and lends me the welcome sensation of coming home. Once we navigate the treacherous outcroppings of our beach and push past the currents, we turn into a narrow inlet flanking the cliffside. Rounding a bend into the mouth of another sheltered rocky cove, we weave our way through an isolated turquoise reef. Running parallel to the reef, the sheer rock walls are dotted with dozens of small dark caves. This entire area is untouched and pristine, and it's my favorite part of our long swim. Nerissa! Kendra's 20 yards ahead of me. What? Come on, no time for sightseeing, doll. We're going to be late. Coming, I yell. We reach the other end of the sheltered reef and push our way into the now deep, foreboding water. We swim fast, without pause, for quite a while before a quick rest. The swells here are incredibly large and move us a tremendous distance. If we stay here too long, the ocean could capture us and end our lovely day by slamming us into the cliff walls. Let's go. Another mile and I spot the entry point where the cliffs end and the land continues to the east. Neither of us need to stop. We could continue all the way around the island, but someone might see us coming from where swimming is dangerous, humanly impossible, and against the law. We need to get out right here, but our trek isn't over. After you, beauty, I offer my most gracious and condescending island etiquette. Please, you first, beauty, I insist. Kendra extends an arm. I accept her gesture, rise out of the water, and step onto the landing. We gather our belongings from under a pine tree and get dressed. We have a hike and another long swim ahead of us, and we're running late. We climb the steep path to the top of the ridge. I'm not disappointed by what I anticipate as we clear the last few yards. From our vantage point, hidden in the trees, almost the entire island is visible. But we only have seconds to pause. My eyes dart to the left and begin the sweep of the incomparable panorama. The mountain Apollo rises in the dark, rocky west, standing sentinel over the restricted base of the Panacea Island branch of the First World Government. Just below lie the sweeping hills of the luxury sector, where the wealthiest call home for the summer season. The opulent resorts sprawl along the north coast and glimmer in the brilliant sunshine. I shudder as my eyes float past Concordia on the bay, my place of employment. To the east lies the marina, where a spectacle of yachts bob in the cobalt water. Most of them never leave their moorings for fear of joining the hundreds of shipwrecks off every coast. They're floating showpieces, or just a place to throw an amazing party. Past the marina, the island's only public beach, Playa Rosa, stretches out. A billion glittering diamonds glowing rosy beige. This island never ceases to impress me. As required, I'm well educated in human history, and I know that Panacea is one of the last of its kind. It juts out of the ocean like a jagged monolith with a softened edge. Harsh and unyielding, lush and fragile. This island is a case study in contradictions, a terrible beauty. South of the resort section and dotted throughout the hillside lives the island's year-round population. Some of us native, some transplants from elsewhere. The house my mother and I were assigned is beautiful, but way too big for just the two of us. Half the rooms are never used. Kendra and I have lived in the Oval, 4 concentric streets wrapping around a main road, for almost 3 years. But it still feels like we're just visiting sometimes. We begin jogging, and as we fall into a comfortable and steady clip, I zone out. I actually enjoy running, despite my inept feet. We pass through the last section of thick forest and begin a steep descent, where the dark soil transitions to sand and we're no longer hidden by the trees. The deep green hues of the forest turn into the lime green pop of the cacti and other tropical and medicinal plants. Finally, Kendra huffs as we step onto the road. I like it in there. I scan both directions. It's all clear. We walk down the road as though we're coming from the Oval and eventually make our way to Playa Rosa. The beach is set up for the season, the sand clean and raked, umbrella and chair rental stations stocked and ready, but it's still uncrowded. We'll have to be extra careful. Usual spot? Kendra points. Yep. Just another day at the beach, she says. Do you see Gabriel anywhere? I whisper. She doesn't even look up. Nope. The old man is probably off somewhere getting high. Keep your voice down. Oh, relax, Nerissa. Nobody's looking at us. But the truth is, everybody is always looking at us. Especially when there's just a sprinkling of people. It's much easier to blend in and go unnoticed when the beach is crowded with rich, beautiful tourists. The richer they are, the more beautiful they can afford to be, and we don't stand out as much. We park ourselves at the only remaining lifeguard stand. It was decided that the others block the view and cheapen the beach, so they were removed. This one will be manned, inconsistently, during the busiest part of the peak season. But for now, a small red-lettered sign reads, "Do not cross swim boundaries. No lifeguard on duty. Swim at your own risk." There's nothing like luxuriating in a little inconvenient drowning every once in a while. Whatever. Let these idiots work it out. No one is too close, and we can take off our shoes. It's magical. Our clothes are next, and now I feel the eyes on every inch of my body. I can imagine the disgusting thoughts racing through lustful minds. Would you please relax? We've done this 1,000,000 times, Kendra says. I know, but we're in a hurry, and I just don't want to be stupid. Well, I don't see anyone staring, but I did spot Gabriel, she says. Where? I search. Be cool. We'll hear him soon. He's seen us. Oh, I see him. Just like clockwork, predictable and dependable, Gabriel, our breed's one true ally, has appeared up the beach. How old do you think Gabriel is? Kendra asks. About 150? I can see his wrinkles from here. Stop it, poor guy. But Kendra's right. Even from here, his dark skin looks so weathered, his long curly hair grayer than ever. But although old and slight, he still stands straight and walks with strength. I'm so grateful for Gabriel. Without him, we'd be lost. A random face catches my eye. He's perched at the edge of his chair 15 feet ahead of Gabriel. Our eyes meet and lock for just a second. He puts his head down and scribbles something in a small book, then looks at me again, still and expressionless. Nice cold drinks here! Gabriel's voice breaks the warped moment. I wonder if he noticed my random exchange with this curious stranger. His timing is impeccable. That's our cue, Nerissa. We ease into the water. There's a handful of people. 2 on floats, 3 teenagers playing a game of catch, and a family with 2 young kids. We've gone as unnoticed as possible. Back at the chairs, Gabriel continues his reverie, his iconic voice known by everyone. Ice cold drinks here, folks. I've got the temptations, the libations, the medications and creations for your ultimate vacation. Ha 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 ha! He spills his contagious laughter into the air and infects the crowd. I've got the antibiotic for your anti-chaotic. The formulations for your relaxation. Ha 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 ha! He's got everyone's attention. The promise of a refreshing tropical drink in their immediate futures. They're hanging on his every nuance as he delivers the code phrase. Have I got a deal for you folks? Ha ha ha! We slip under the ropes, and just like that, poof, we're gone. To learn more, dive into Nerissa John's world with Wreckleaf, Book 1, releasing this March 14th, 2023, with Bose Bookshelf and wherever books are sold. You can pre-order your copy now at bosebookshelf.com or visit jdsteiner.com. And to learn more, stay tuned for Chapter 3, coming soon.